أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة. من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصهما فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربي زدني علما. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم. My dear audiences, my dear friends, brothers, sisters, and those who are watching through Facebook, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a great pleasure for me to attend this Tafsirul Quran Mahfil. At the very beginning, at the commencement of this Tafsirul Quran Mahfil, I would like to express my deep gratitude to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying Alhamdulillah, all praises are only for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, in today's Tafsirul Quran Mahfil, we shall have a discussion on verse number 103 of Suratu Emraan. Ayat number 103 of Suratu Emraan. Suratu Emraan is surah number 3 in the Holy Qur'an. So at first, as usual, we shall go to the recitation as well as meaning of verse number 103 of Suratu Emraan. Then inshallah we shall go to the elaborate discussion. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَا حُفْرَةٍ مِّنَ النَّارِ فَأَنْقَذَكُم مِّنْهَا كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك. I seek refuge, I seek shelter to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the accursed devil, from the accursed shaitan, and I am beginning with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is most merciful, most beneficent. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. O the Muslims, O the people of the world, hold the rope of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jointly and don't be divided. وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذْ كُنْتُمْ أَعْدَاءً فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا. And remember the blessings of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to you, and one of the blessing is that you are enemy of each other. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has turned your enemy into good relation, into brotherhood. وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَا حُفْرَةٍ مِّنَ النَّارِ فَأَنْقَذَكُم مِّنْهَا. And you are by the side of the fire, by the side of the hell, and I have rescued you from the fire, from the hell. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ. Accordingly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to explain His signs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to explain His ayat, His verses, so that we may get the right way, so that we may be guided. Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said the truth, and His prophets and messengers have also said the truth, and we are among the witnesses. All praises are for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises are for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the greatest. O Allah, bless your prophet and servant, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this was the recitation as well as meaning of verse number 103 of Suratu Emraan. In this verse number, ayat number 103 of Suratu Emraan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking people to be admitted in Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting people towards the shelter of Tawheed. And here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has compared Islam, the teachings of Tawheed, with a rope. As we know, suppose a person is drowning in the river, and we want to rescue him. What do? We collect a strong rope, and we used to throw the rope to the person who is drowning in the river, and the person who is being drowned in the river catch the rope, and he is rescued, he is saved. Here in verse number 103, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has compared Islam with a thick rope, with a strong rope. In this world, there are various religions, there are various isms. There are countless opinions, countless religions. And among all the opinions, among all the religions, among all the isms, Islam is the only solution for a man, either male or female. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our only one creator. And He is the only one creator. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have any partner. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from the fault of having any partner. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unique, only one. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants that people of the world should enter in Islam so that they might be succeeded in the life of hereafter. In this world, we have been sent by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to appear in an exam. This world is nothing but an exam hall. We are giving examination on each and every moment. Being a Muslim, we must remember that Islam is the only acceptable religion. Islam is the only religion that can help you both here and hereafter. If we want to be succeeded in the life of here and hereafter, we must admit the teachings of Islam. We must be admitted in Islam. Without admitting in Islam, without entering in Islam, without accepting the teachings of Tawheed. Tawheed means oneness of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants that all the people of this world should accept Islam. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a liberty. Whether we shall accept Islam or not, it is up to us. It is upon us. It is our desire whether we shall accept Islam or reject. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this option. If a person accepts Islam voluntarily, he will be succeeded both in the life of here and hereafter. And on the next portion of this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us, وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. O people of the world, O the Muslims, don't be divided. Nowadays, in Islam, there are many divisions. There are many sections. And each and every division and each and every section used to fight with each other. Islam does not allow any division. There is no division, there is no section in Islam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, and this verse number 103, ayat number 103 of Suratu Emraan was revealed upon our beloved Prophet during his prophethood life in Medina. As we know, there were two tribes, two nations in Medina. One is Aus and other is Khazraj. Aus and Khazraj. There were two tribes. And before migration of our beloved Prophet from Mecca to Medina, these two tribes were in dispute for the last many years. And when our beloved Prophet, by the order of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, migrated to Medina from Mecca, and our beloved Prophet, when went to Medina, our beloved Prophet get both the tribes together. The dispute in between Aus and Khazraj was finished. The dispute in between Aus and Khazraj was amicably adjudicated by our beloved Prophet. Both the tribes became one brother. Allahu Akbar. And this verse was revealed at one stage. These two tribes started to quarrel again. A dispute was arisen in between the two tribes again. And as soon as our beloved Prophet heard this news, went there and adjudicated the dispute. And both the tribes again became one brother. So, in Islam, there is no division, there is no section. We, the followers of Islam, are only one nation, and we are Muslim, and nothing else. There is no division in Islam. Now, inshallah, we shall go with some relevant other ayat in the Holy Quran. Those are relevant in today's tafsir. First relevant ayat in today's tafsir is ayat number 257 of Suratu Baqarah. In ayat number 257 Suratu Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukrizuhum minaz zulumati ilan nur والذين كفروا أولياؤهم الطاغوت يخرجونهم من النور إلى الظلمات أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. Verse number 257 of Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, O people of the world, admit in Islam. If you admit in Islam, that means Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your protector. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your guardian. A person who admits Islam, who accepts Islam, that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is his guardian. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is his protector. And what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? Yukhrijuhum minaz zulumati ilan nur. Islam takes out a person from the dark and takes him to the light. Allahu Akbar. If a person accepts Islam, it means he has come out from darkness to light. Allahu Akbar. And on the other hand, وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتُ. And on the other hand, the people who have not accepted Islam, it means يُخْرِجُونَهُمْ مِنَ النُّورِ إِلَى الظُّلُمَاتِ. It means he has gone to darkness from light. Na'udzu billahi min zalik. Ulaika ashabun nar. And they will be the inhabitants of fire. They will be the inhabitants of hell. Hum fiha khalidun. And there they shall stay. They shall remain forever. So, if a person accepts Islam, it means he or she has taken out himself or herself from darkness to light. Allahu Akbar. Next relevant ayat in today's tafsir is verse number 19 of Suratu Emraan. In verse number 19, Suratu Emraan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Inna ad-deena 'inda Allahi al-Islam. وَمَا اخْتَلَفَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْعِلْمُ بَغْيًا بَيْنَهُمْ وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ سَرِيعُ الْحِسَابِ. إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ. The only acceptable religion to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Islam. That means, nowadays, if a person is Christian, if a person is Jewish, Yehudi, if a person is Hindu, if a person is Buddhist, if a person is Qadiani, or if a person is member of any other religion other than Islam, that religion will not be accepted from him by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna ad-deena 'inda Allahi al-Islam. The only recognized religion to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Islam. So if we want to be succeeded both here and hereafter, we must accept Islam. There is no way but to accept Islam. Next relevant ayat in today's tafsir is ayat number 85. The same utterance have been uttered by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse number 85 of Suratu Emraan. In verse number 85 Suratu Emraan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Whoever will seek any other religion other than Islam, that religion will not be accepted by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in the life of hereafter, he will be among those who are loser. Verse number 85, it is crystal clear. No other religion will be accepted by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala other than Islam. Next relevant ayat is ayat number 72 of Suratul Ma'idah. Suratul Ma'idah, verse number 72 of Suratul Ma'idah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ وقال مسيح يا بني إسرائيل اعبدوا الله ربي وربكم إنه من يشرك بالله فقد حرم الله عليه الجنة ومأواه النار وما للظالمين من أنصار. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is answering the false allegation brought by the Christians. A group of Christians used to say that Isa ibn Maryam himself is the creator. Nauzubillah min dhalik. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, those who claim that Isa ibn Maryam himself is the creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is answering, وَقَالَ الْمَسِيحُ يَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ رَبِّي وَرَبَّكُمْ. Isa ibn Maryam himself said to his nation during his lifetime, O my community, you worship for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He is my creator as well as your creator. So, the false allegation of the Christians that Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus Christ, himself was God. Nauzubillah min dhalik. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is answering, Jesus Christ, Isa ibn Maryam himself, during his lifetime, told his nation to worship only for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is creator of Jesus Christ as well as creator of everything. Allahu Akbar. And in the next portion, Allah Ta'ala has made it more clear. إِنَّهُ مَن يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ الْجَنَّةَ وَمَأْوَاهُ النَّارُ وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِنْ أَنصَارٍ. Whoever will make partner with Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will prohibit heaven for him. That means a non-believers of Islam will never be admitted, will never be entered in the heaven. Heaven is prohibited for the non-believers of Islam. And they will be the inhabitants of fire, and there they shall not find anyone who will help them. There they shall not find any helper. So this was verse number 72. In verse number 72 of Suratu Al-Ma'idah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has categorically stated that a non-believer of Islam will never be admitted in the heaven. Heaven is prohibited for them. Next relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 36 of Suratu Nahl. In verse number 36 Suratu Nahl, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هَدَى اللَّهُ وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ حَقَّتْ عَلَيْهِ الضَّلَالَةُ فَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent messenger with the invitation of Tawheed, with the invitation of oneness of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to each and every nation. That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent the invitation of Tawheed, invitation of oneness of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to each and every nation. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent prophets and messengers to the nations, many of the nations accepted the invitation of Tawheed, and many of them denied. They were misguided. They went to the wrong way. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ. O people of the world, you visit the whole world and see what was the consequence of the non-believers of Islam. As we know, in this world, many nations have been destroyed by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Suppose the nation of Samud, the nation of Ad, the nation of Pharaoh, the nation of Namrud. Many nations were destroyed by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of not accepting the invitation of Tawheed. So, nowadays in this world, many people are not accepting Islam. It means they are not making any destruction for Islam. They are making their own destruction. One day they will be destroyed by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the earlier people who rejected Islam were destroyed. So, it is the utmost duty, it is the foremost duty of each and every people, each and every person of this world to come under the shelter of Islam, to come under the shelter of Tawheed, to come under the shelter of oneness of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 102 of Suratu Shuara. Suratu Shuara is surah number 26 in the Holy Qur'an. In verse number 102 of Suratu Shuara, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَلَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً فَنَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. In the life of hereafter, the non-believers of Islam will say to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, O Allah, if you will send us in the world again, we shall be among the believers of Islam. That means after destruction of this world, when this whole world will be destroyed, everything will be destroyed, no person will remain alive. And after destruction, after death of each and every animal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will revive people again to take their accounts, what they did in the life of here. And the non-believers of Islam who rejected the invitation of Tawheed, they will see that Islam was the actual religion, and they will realize that they have made mistake in not accepting Islam. They will say to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, O Allah, please send us in the world again. We shall accept Islam. But in this world, if we are unsuccessful, if we fail in any exam, there are opportunities to appear again and again. And at one stage, we must succeed. But after the end of our life in this world, it is an exam. And after completion of this exam, when we shall meet death, there will be no chance to appear again in the exam. That means no person will be, no soul will be permitted to go to the world again and take another chance. So, from this Tafsirul Mahfil, I would like to make application. I would like to urge the people of the world, please think over it. To which religion you are worshipping? Are you worshipping an idols and images who does not have any power to do good or bad for you? Suppose the members of Hindu, they used to worship the idols and images. Nauzubillahi min zalik. An idol or image does not have any power to do good or bad for you. And you are an educated person. You are not thinking over it. To whom you are worshipping? It is the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is entitled to get our worship and no one else. Because Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the owner of everything. Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the holder of all power. So, in verse number 102 of Suratu Shuara, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَلَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً فَنَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Their desire to send them again in the world will be rejected. They shall not get second chance to become a believer of Islam. Next relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 10 and 11 of Suratul Munafiqun. In verse number 10 and 11 of Suratu Munafiqun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتُ فيقول رب لولا أخرتني إلى أجل قريب فأصدق وأكن من الصالحين ولن يؤخر الله نفسا إذا جاء أجلها والله خبير بما تعملون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, O people of the world, spend money in the way of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before the death comes to you. And if you do not spend money in the way of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if the death comes to you, and if you will say, Oh Allah, give me some time, I shall spend my all the money to your way, and I will become among those who are good doers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَلَنْ يُؤَخِّرَ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهَا. If the fixed time of any person comes, he will not be given any extension. وَاللَّهُ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very much aware what you are doing here. So, there are many people among us who do not used to do good deeds. And they think that I shall do these good deeds after some time. Being a believers of Islam, being one of the believers of Islam, we must believe that our tenure of life in this world is limited. We do not know when death will come to us. So, at the time of doing good deeds, at the time of spending money in the way of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we shall not make any delay. Suppose there are many Muslims who do not offer, who do not perform the holy Hajj. They think that I shall perform Hajj after some time, after the age of 60 or 65 or 70. No. If you have got capacity, if you have financial support, if you are afford enough to perform Hajj, you perform Hajj. Don't make delay, because you do not know when your tenure in this world will be expired. We do not know. Our tenure may expire in this world at any time. So, we shall not make any delay in spending money in the way of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We shall not make any delay in doing any good deeds. There are many young men. There are many youths who do not used to do good deeds. They think that I shall be a performer of 5 times Salah after some time, after 40 or after 50. No, nauzubillahi min zalik. We do not know when our death will come to us. Death may come to us at any stage. So being a true believer of Islam, being an actual believer of Islam, we shall not make any delay in spending money in the way of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or we shall not make any delay in doing any good deeds for the satisfaction of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now, inshallah, last relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 13, Surah Tariq. Surah Tariq, verse number 13. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here, وَإِنَّهُ لَقَوْلٌ فَصْلٌ. This holy Qur'an, this holy book, This is the last revelation of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the last testament. And it is a complete code of our life. And a true believers of Islam will always keep it in mind that this Holy Qur'an has been revealed by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon our beloved Prophet as the solution of everything of our life. Either our personal life, either our family life, or our social life, or our state life, national life. All kinds of problem in any fields of our life can be solved by this holy book, by this holy Quran. And a true believer of Islam will always rely on this book. A true believer of Islam will always make solution of any problem of his life in any respect from the Holy Quran. Because it is the last revelation and it is the solution of everything. It is the solution of all problems of our life. Either in personal life or social life or family life or national life or even in international life. Now inshallah, we shall go with some relevant hadiths of today's tafsir. First relevant hadith in today's tafsir is An Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam Innal ladhi laysa fi jawfihi min al-Qur'an kal baytil kharib rawahu sahih at-Tirmizi. This hadith, this utterance of our beloved Prophet has been recorded in the book of Tirmizi, Sahih Hadith. And this hadith has been narrated by Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu. He said that our beloved Prophet has said, the person who does not have anything from Quran in him, it is as like as an abandoned house. In an abandoned house, we used to do not go there because we think that the ghost live there. If we shall go there, we shall face problem. An abandoned house is not liked by anyone. And here in this hadith, our beloved Prophet has said, a Muslim who does not have any teachings from Quran in his heart, it is as like as an abandoned house. So being a true believer of Islam, it is utmost duty, it is foremost duty, it is mandatory as well as obligatory for us to earn knowledge of Quran in this world. But it is a matter of great regret that we do not want to learn anything from Holy Quran. We used to read many books, but we are not eager to recite the Holy Quran. We are not eager to learn the teachings of Quran. A true believer of Islam will always try to learn something from the Holy Quran. Because if he wants that his heart will not be as like as an abandoned house, he or she must try to learn teachings of Quran, teachings of Sahih Hadith. Next relevant hadith in today's tafsir is An Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam laysa minna Man lam yataghanna bil Qur'an. Sahih al-Bukhari. Many people among us do not know how to recite the Holy Quran properly. It is a great offense in Islam. A true believer of Islam must know how to recite Quran properly. And here our beloved Prophet is saying, this hadith has been narrated by Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Our beloved Prophet has said, those who do not know how to recite Quran properly, he is not among us. Rawahu Sahih al-Bukhari. That means a true believer of Islam must know how to read, how to recite Holy Quran properly. Next relevant hadith in today's tafsir is An Sa'ad ibn Ubadah radiallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ma min imrin yakra'ul Qur'ana thumma yansahu illa laqiyallahu yawmal qiyamati ajjam. Rawahu Abu Dawud. The word jajam. Jajam means without part of a body. This hadith has been narrated by Sa'ad ibn Ubadah radiallahu anhu. He said that our beloved Prophet said, whoever has learned Quran but he has forgot to recite, on the day of judgment, on the day of resurrection, he will be revived as a person without limbs. Suppose in this world he was a complete man. He learned to recite Holy Quran, but because of non-practice, he forgot to recite Quran. It is very heinous offense. In our society, if we have a look, many boys and girls, during their boyhood, they are being taught by their guardians, by their teachers, to recite Quran. But whenever they go to the higher education, they never touch the Holy Quran, and at one stage, they forgot to recite Quran. Nauzubillah min zalik. It is very much heinous offense in Islam. And in this hadith has been narrated in Abu Dawud. Our beloved Prophet is saying that the person who has learned to recite Quran, but subsequently he has forgotten, on the day of judgment, he will be revived without some parts of his body. Nauzubillah min zalik. So, it is obligatory for us, mandatory for us to learn how to recite the Holy Quran. And whenever we shall learn how to recite the Holy Quran, we must make proper practice so that we may not forget. Now, inshallah, we shall pray to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before offering prayer, let us recite Durood. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma amin. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا. اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب هب لي من الصالحين رب زدني علما أستغفر الله اللهم إني أسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. Wallah, some of your servants have been gathered here in this Tafsirul Quran Mahfil. We have discussed from your Holy Quran and Sahih Hadith of your Prophet. We have made many mistakes. Please forgive our all mistakes and accept this Tafsirul Quran Mahfil. Wallah, forgive our all sins. Wallah, you know what is in our heart. Please fulfill our all good desires of our heart. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.